Hello Capricorn, welcome to February 2018. Thanks so much for being here. So, Capricorn, you have a lot going on. I know you do. You still have a lot lingering. Like there's still not everything from last year has been completely closed out. And I feel like what did I name your reading? They've got your back no matter what. Because there is someone in your life that seriously has your back. And if it's your romantic partner, awesome. If you are looking for a romantic partner, that's a chance for you this month. If you are in a business situation, this is a business partner, or it's a friend or a mentor, or someone that like super supports you. And no matter what you're dealing with, this person, I'm getting chills just like talking about it right now, because this person is like so 100% in your corner. And don't be afraid to ask them for help, or don't be afraid to lean on them. A lot of the stuff hopefully will close out this month. If not this month, then it will close out next month. So it's just like slowly but surely getting rid of all the stuff, getting rid of the negative emotions, getting rid of the sadness, getting rid of the illness, getting rid of distancing yourself further and further away. As time goes on, we get farther and farther away from those adversarial things in our life. And so you're getting further away. Slowly but surely you're getting there. We have Venus, Mercury, and the Sun all transiting into your second house, house of money, the house of your body, right? I think you are going to continue to be very attractive. I love a Venus in the second house because it's like you are a beautiful person and people are going to perceive you as being very attractive as well. And you've got this mind to boot. Right? I mean, you're smart anyway, you're ambitious, you've got so much going for you anyway by birthright, just by being a Capricorn, but here's like a little extra boost. And I think it's good because it's like all the first house stuff this month and then the second house stuff this next upcoming month. So it's kind of like it's just continuing to go. There may be opportunity for you to create money as Venus and Jupiter square, but there could also be a tendency to be a little extravagant and a little overspendy. So just keep your eye on your wallet if that's something you don't want to do. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and leave you with that, with just a quick announcement left. I'm doing comprehensive readings this month, and these go into so much more detail. It's like an extra 20 to 25 minutes where I just keep pulling cards, clarifying a lot of the cards that come out, and getting so much more detail and information for you. Who's who, what's what to think about, what to consider, possible outcomes. And I think for you, it really added a lot of additional information. Okay, so I wish you guys nothing but the best. Please check out that link down below. They are free this month, so you can just watch as many as you want. And stay tuned as I unroll a lot of exciting stuff with my website over the next couple months. All right, or next couple weeks, I mean, not months, sorry. Mercury's not in Aquarius yet. I'm not quite there yet. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Thanks. Capricorn, welcome to February. Let's go ahead and get started. We had the Four of Pentacles pop out for you as I was shuffling. So let's get started with this. You know, this is a very Capricorn style card, I feel. Like Capricorn and Taurus, I think, really relate to this energy. It can be stubborn and blocked. But in your sense for this month, I feel like it's more based on conviction. You know, like you're really staying true to your goals. You have your mind set on something and you're just barreling forward toward that thing. If you are feeling stagnant and stuck in some way, or even if you're feeling very protective of yourself right now and really playing it close to the vest and really not allowing a lot of people to penetrate your life, to penetrate your mind, if you're not allowing people access, I think it's very purposeful and I think you're on the right track. Four of Pentacles can be a safe place. And when a Capricorn sets its mind to something, like there is just no stopping them, right? Like you're a cardinal energy. home, ruling planet back home. Like, you're a force to be reckoned with, honestly. Okay? And so people kind of need to watch out for you. People need to step aside and let you through, because if they don't, then they're just going to get trampled a little bit, you know? And I think that's a good thing for you guys, because they're the Capricorns and what they've gone through. And I'm going to stop talking about that probably next month, but I do think that there's still a lot of lingering effects. And it's not going to completely be over. You know, it's always a transition. There's always transition. Oh, but it's like you are just as over it as I am over it talking about it. Like, I'm over it. I'm sick of it. I just want the next thing. And there doesn't need to be all this dwelling. There doesn't need to be all this, like, holding grudges or anything like that. It's just like, I'm over it. Page of Pentacles. I love that when I get the cards of the element for the people I'm reading for. Pentacles being for Earth, right? Page of Pentacles. You're either going to hear from someone or some kind of offering is going to come in. And I think it is because you are standing so true to who you are. And when we have that mindset that, like, there's no question in my mind that I'm going to accomplish this thing, then it comes in and it begins to manifest itself. And I think that that's what this is, and that's what this represents. So whether it is some kind of settlement of some kind, whether it is some kind of peace offering, or someone, an ex coming back, reaching out to you, or someone new in love. And if it is in love and it is someone new, it's likely an earth sign, which is, you know, compatible with you being an earth sign. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. That's a welcome card for sure. Page of Pentacles. Let's give Capricorn something that they can chew on. Let's give Capricorn something they can work with, something that they can make something happen with. Because they're on a roll right now, and there's no stopping them. And the High Priestess, a card of intuition. Like, I think that you guys are super in the zone. She's always that connection with the ethereal realm, with the spiritual part of yourself, you know, being guided by your intuition, doing what you know is right, kind of allowing the will of God to be manifest in your life. And I feel that there's this, a surrender to this here. It's like, I'm going to work, I'm going to do, I'm going to believe, I'm going to be doing everything that I know I possibly can and it's in my power, because I know that whatever motivation I have, I know that whatever dream I have has a divine purpose, and that has come to me. I was inspired by that for whatever reason. And you might not quite know the reason why things happened. You might not quite know the reason or the you know, where you're headed. In fact, I think you're in a very much day-to-day standpoint right now. And when people are that in the present, you know, that living in the moment like that, they can be very dangerous, right? Because a lot of people they're so big picture that they're looking forward. They're so, like, you know, in their emotions that they're looking backwards. So when people live in the moment like this and they produce in the moment, those are the people that are like the dark horse, right? The ones that you have to deal with later on. And I think that you are like this dark horse, kind of creeping up from the shadows, you know, and you are about to do something really big. And again, it is divinely inspired. And you being very connected with that intuitive part of yourself that, like, I know this is right. I don't know why it's right. I just know it. There is a sense of knowing. Eight of Cups, okay. I mean, no surprise there. Leaving all that nonsense behind. And I've been using that word a lot this month, nonsense. And it is just nonsense, right? You know, you weirdly got comfortable there. You weirdly allowed it to happen longer than maybe you think you should have. Again, that's all purposeful. You might not know the reason, but you'll know the reason soon enough. And you're leaving it all behind. Like, let's just forget about it. And that's what I said with the Four of Pentacles. Like, let's just forget about it. Let's just move on. I can learn from it and I can build myself up as a person because of that. But I'm not going to sit and think about it all the time, and I'm not going to dwell on it. And I'm not going to really allow that to dictate my actions in this present moment. Plain and simple. There's so much strength and power coming here. This Four of Pentacles, I know a lot of readers read this in a very negative way, and it can be negative, but I think that for an earth sign, when this comes out, it's you guys really being so much in your element and really like doing the things that make you a spiritual person or a spiritual being. And there is the spiritual element there with the High Priestess. And I even talked about this in Gemini, and I think a little bit in Cancer and Libra as well. Cancer and Libra especially, because they are fellow cardinal signs and they are very much getting affected by this Saturn transit. They are having a more difficult time than you because it's your ruling planet, right? But to do those things that are spiritual for you. And for Capricorn, like when we think about Sagittarius being the sign right before, right? And we're always a consolidation of all the signs before us, right? So Capricorn being very mature has a lot of the elements of Sagittarius within you. And Sagittarius is the explorer, the ones that spreads their wings and flies around. And, you know, because Scorpio is like the snake that sprouts the wings and becomes the eagle, right? It leaves the grounding of the earth and it goes into the sky. So the Sagittarius is curious about their new wings, curious about this whole new perspective from which they see the world. And Capricorn is like, okay, I'm done exploring. I'm done, like, you know, being unpredictable. And I really want to stabilize. And it's like the eagle building a nest. I want to have rulership. I want to have ownership over this area of my life. I want to be the master of my domain, right? And that's what makes you spiritual, is taking control of your domain, taking control of your assets and the things that belong to you, and really making that nest, you know, and having control over that part of the sky. And I think that's where you're at. And a lot of you, with a lot of your transitions, you know, you're figuring that out, and you're figuring out, where should I build my nest? And for some of you who may be actually moving, that could be more literal for you, like, where should I settle down, you know, kind of thing. Eight of Swords. Of course you can't see where you're going right now. It's very difficult to see an outcome here. And the problem with the Eight of Swords is that there is an element of feeling trapped and suffocated. Like there are conditions outside of your control, or you perceive them to be outside of your control. Now, the Swords is of the mind. And this is something that can actually stop you. You know, these are quite contradictory. So you are maybe in this place of, I'm moving forward, but yet you're still operating on some level of fear and doubt. Fear and doubt are your greatest enemies, because Saturn in your sign is demanding that you do and that you become everything that you are meant to become. Okay, and so if you're not happy with your career, now is the time to make changes. If you're not happy in your relationship and you're dealing with someone who's toxic, now's the time to leave that relationship. If you're having a hard time within your long-standing 20-year marriage, whatever, it's time to get over those issues, to fix them, to deal with them, to hit them head on, like a bull, right? Like a matador. It's time to charge at them, and it's time to attack them. There's no need for you to be afraid. You know, because you have the strength, you have the power, and you have the ability as the mountain goat, right? The one that can stand precariously on the edges of a cliff and still find your way and your foothold as you continue to climb up and up and up and up, right? So fear for a Capricorn is a very uncomfortable emotion. It's a very uncomfortable feeling, because really you guys aren't really that afraid. So it's time for you to recognize and acknowledge what is holding you back, to recognize what it is you cannot see. And I think I'm thinking of the Capricorns in my life, and they're like making so many strides. You know, they are feeling happy, they are feeling good, they're staying super busy. Like, you know, I have a real, quote unquote, real job, and my boss is a Capricorn, and he works in commercial real estate. And, you know, he is making money hand over fist. He just got engaged. He's getting married next May. And there's like so much happening in his life. Like I said, he's just barreling forward. But there's still a weirdness there, right? There's still something that's like, there's an energy about it that's just not quite right. And I think that's what this is. It's the energy in your life that just isn't quite right. It can speak to you in terms of self-doubt. There can be assumptions made about other people's motivations. This King of Wands, I feel very much is you. I don't think this is someone else, but let's keep it open. King of Wands is someone that's very big picture. He's been making an appearance in a lot of the readings this month. It's a card of Leo, and I think we all are taking on this very Leo-esque vibe where it's like, me, right? Me, what do I want? How can I make my life better? And this is someone that gives as well as receives, and they give what they receive. And so there is a great deal of reciprocity here. Hold on, let me take a sip of coffee really quick. This I feel is someone that is a leader. This is someone that deserves all the things. They deserve all their things. So you deserve all your things, okay? Everything that you have. There's no need for you to feel inadequate, which I don't know if you do, but just saying. This is also someone, if it speaks to you in terms of the fact that it's someone else, that's very much willing to help you and to help guide you in a business sense. This could be a business coach or a mentor of some kind. In a relationship, this would be your partner. In a friendship, this is your partner. This is your business partner. Let's use the word partner, right? Partner in an open sense. The one that stands side by side with you and pushes you, but also helps you and, you know, kind of absorbs your dream and absorbs your goals and says, okay, well, how can I help you get there? If you are dating someone, that's someone to keep. That's someone to keep. You know, don't let that one go. Definitely new things coming in for you, no doubt about it. In love, there's probably new opportunities for you singles out there. You know, in romance situations, there's apologies coming your way that are very sincere. There are, you know, little text messages and Facebook messages, and there's little like pings and taps on the shoulder that are like, hey, Capricorn, you're awesome, keep going. You know, I see this as like a cheerleader, someone who's a little bit glasses half full. You know, very optimistic, very kind, sees the world through maybe little too rose-colored glasses sometimes, but still it's a very genuine contact for you. And so you may question people's motives, right? 8 of Swords here. You may really be questioning this stuff because maybe you've been screwed over just one too many times. You know, you've been screwed over just one too many times. You've had just a few too many reasons to not trust, a few too many reasons to keep yourself closed off, right? This is where your intuition really comes in, right? For reals, because your intuition, and I'm going to be clarifying all of these, especially this one here in the comprehensive, and the link will be down below. But you know, this is someone, or this is a situation where follow your gut is the best advice that I can give you. Be very, very careful of hope versus fear, right? Because hope is a fear in disguise and fear is a hope in disguise. And they work in tandem and they work together, and they can be equally frustrating because it's like, well, am I just hoping that this is real, or is it my gut that's telling me? And you know what? Hopes and fears usually waver. So if you're questioning anyone's motives, if you're questioning what anyone says, if you're questioning why they're in your life, especially if it's this person here, if you're questioning that, take a few days and just keep like an eye on it and say, okay, am I hoping? Am I fearing? Is this something that I know for sure? And just like the thing you know for sure, which is the thing the High Priestess is telling you, that always remains constant. If it's a hope and fear, it will vacillate between the two, right? And you're going to recognize that it is just a hope and fear. And that's like, I think, one of the hardest things that I've discovered through tarot that we do as human beings, because hope and fear can be so loud and it can be so like such a projection of negativity. Even hopes is a projection of negativity, right? It's a projection of lack. It's a projection of, I don't have this. I'm afraid I'm not going to have it. I hope for it. I want it. It's very different than faith. It's a very different thing. And to keep your eye on what it is you're hoping for and what it is you're afraid of. All right? Because essentially that's all in the mind, and there's no logical grounding or logical basis for that whatsoever. I think if this is someone that is external from you, like a partner, they've given you absolutely no reason for you to doubt them, for you to question them. If this is the inner you, if this is you, then there's no reason for you to doubt yourself. And the Tower. The Tower's been making an appearance this month. I'm doing this purely intuitive, so I didn't look at the stars yet. I will for the intro, but Tower is making an appearance, and there's a lot of sudden changes in February. There's a lot of sudden energies. Okay, yeah, here's you. I think you're the Queen of Wands. The reason why I say I think you're the Queen is because this is cardinal, right? This is the card of Aries. Capricorn is cardinal. And I think that you are taking on that cardinal, like you're going to be cardinal for the next 3 years, right? With Saturn there, because you're just super in the zone. She's an entrepreneur. She's one that can make things happen. She's the one that gives back. She's the one that is like a powerhouse. I do feel that this one kind of sits on their throne a little bit. They're willing to help and they're willing to be there, but they are also very, very big picture. Whereas this one is like, no, let's go. Let's go, let's do it, da 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 da. If this is romance for you, this is a perfect match. These two cards came out in Scorpio as well, so you may be dealing with a Scorpio, maybe. But look, I mean, the Tower can indicate something positive too. And again, I will clarify this because this is just change. It's neutral. It's neither good nor bad. And with these cards surrounding it, I think it's good, and especially if it's the introduction of someone or in a romantic situation, it could be a sudden like connection that you feel, or a sudden change within a connection that was, maybe this was a friend and now all of a sudden you're together. Maybe now all of a sudden they've expressed some interest. I don't know how it's going to play out for you, but there's something here with the Page of Cups. It is connected to the Tower, which is connected to both of you. And this needed to happen, but it required you to really move on, 8 of Cups. It required you to move on and to move away from something before this could really happen. So, like I said, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Actually, I don't think I said that, but you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're following your gut. You're doing what your intuition says. And even though you may feel a little bit blind and you just really might not be able to see an outcome, have no fear, have no stress. The outcome will present itself, okay? So let's go ahead and pull a few more as I normally do. Well, okay, well, we get a few more than, I got 3 exactly. See? Someone's like super trying to get in touch with you. Capricorn, talk to me. I'm interested in you. And I kind of feel like this is just sort of testing the waters. And then I feel like this is them kind of stepping it up a notch and being a little bit more vocal about how they feel. I feel that this is contradictory. And it seems like there is something good going on in your life and there's something not so good going on in your life. And they are running parallel. Maybe this is something good and this is something not good. Maybe some of you are dealing with lawsuits. Maybe some of you are dealing with courtroom stuff. And you are having to, take people to the hole and deal with contracts. Now, just because justice is reversed does not mean that it will not work out in your favor. Or that it will not ultimately work out. it just might be not be on the terms that you ideally want it, but it doesn't mean that you're completely at a loss. I think institutions will be upheld, all right? So just differently than you think, right? Because I think the pendulum is still swinging to equilibrium for you. It's not completely there yet. Saturn is slow moving, and the effects of Saturn are slow moving as well. So you're still dealing with a lot of the fallout from all the junk from last year. So it's still kind of feeling like it's not working itself out. And that's kind of why I'm like, I hate talking about last year, but I kind of have to, because it's like the energy takes a long time to really, really shift. It takes time for people to shift in and out of your life. It takes time for lawsuits to work out, for marriages to happen. It takes time for people to fall in love. It all just takes time, and I think that you're just kind of in that finally feeling more free, but at the same time you still have to think about that stuff, you know? So I'm going to clarify that Justice Reverse for sure, and also the Hierophant in the Comprehensive. So I hope you guys got some value out of this. I tried to do it just how I normally do. I wish you guys nothing but the best, and if you join me on my website, you'll have about 20 to 25 more minutes of this spread, and if not, then I will see you in March. All right, thanks so much. Bye-bye.